welcome to our English news edition, coming to you from Canal, Algérie. To the headlines. The Arab foreign ministers meet in Algiers for a preparatory meeting devoted to the examination of the summit's draft agenda and submit the Arab leaders. Our special window devoted to this major Arab event will shed light on the latest preparations to ensure the success of the upcoming Arab summit. And IMLAB, or the Laboratory and Screening Symposium, winds up in Algiers, a boon for signing agreements, meeting professionals and boosting the sector. Good evening, those were today's headlines. First in our news, the proceedings of the Arab Foreign Affairs Ministers' preparatory meeting for the Arab League at the level of the Arab Summit scheduled for the 1st and 2nd of November kicked off on Saturday here in the capital Algiers. The gist of the meeting with Manal Ammari.
The Foreign Affairs Minister Amtan Lamamra took over the presidency of the Council, succeeding the Tunisian Foreign Affairs Minister Othman Jarandi, whose country presided over the 30th session of the summit. The first day of the Arab Foreign Affairs Ministers meeting, held at the International Conference Center Abdellatif Rahal, was devoted to the adoption of the draft agenda, in addition to the review of draft decisions and their approval. In a keynote speech, the Foreign Affairs Minister Amtan Lamamra affirmed that they're relying on the help of all the participants of this summit to breathe new life and a fresh start to joint Arab action through a method that goes beyond traditional approaches, calling on Arab countries to redouble their efforts as a harmonious and united group.
نأمل أن يكون بمقدورنا العمل جميعا لبناء توافق أوسع.
We're hoping that we will all be able to work together to build broader compatibility that brings together all Arab countries and unites their ranks and efforts to solve the acute crisis that the Arab region is currently going through, which turned it into an arena of conflict among many foreign powers. We are looking forward to strengthening solidarity among brotherly Arab countries that are experiencing circumstantial difficulties, namely related to economy, politics, or security, by upholding the principles of good neighborliness, non-interference in other countries' internal affairs, and respecting their sovereignty, independence, and territorial unity. Algeria is also calling for the activation of these fundamental principles to structure our relations with neighboring countries. For his part, the Secretary General of the Arab League, Ahmed Abul Ghait, stated that the Arab Summit is one of the important joint Arab action mechanisms. We consider Algeria's holding of the 31st session of the Arab Summit as an indication to resume what was interrupted. This council is pivotal in achieving the required compatibility to work out the summit's final agenda, for which they're working hard to make it an exceptional event, which will pave the way for joint Arab action. It should be noted that a second consultation session of the Arab Foreign Affairs Ministers meeting is planned for Sunday.
In the same context, the Foreign Affairs Minister Amtal Amamra intensified his activities and meetings with his Arab counterparts for a better coordination and rapprochement in points of view. Najah Tayyar has more.
It is a diplomatic flurry that gathered the Arab countries' foreign affairs, received by the Foreign Affairs Minister Amtal Amamra. The Foreign Affairs Minister of Qatar has recalled the efforts deployed by Algeria in order to achieve a unifying summit. It will be a successful summit on all levels. We expect positive results for all Arab countries. As for Saudi side, this meeting is an opportunity to address substantial issues that are important to the heads of the Arab states. There is a permanent consultation between Saudi Arabia and Algeria, consultations that aim toward the success of this Arab summit. The Islamic Republic of Mauritania Foreign Affairs Minister, on the other hand, recalled the traditions of Algerian diplomacy and the depth of the bilateral relations linking Algiers and Nouakchott. This gathering was fruitful and was an occasion to reinforce bilateral relations between the two countries. The Arab states' diplomacy heads have a heavy task to prepare the next meeting of the summit that will gather the Arab states' leaders.
Still with the Arab Summit and this guided tour to the International Press Center, where tremendous facilitations are put at the disposal of the national and foreign journalists to cover the Algiers event in the most favorable conditions. Ines Kilo reports.
The local and foreign media are preparing to ensure the best possible coverage of this major event. At the International Conference Center, everyone is mobilized to guarantee the smooth running of the media coverage of the Arab Summit in Algiers.
The organization of the 31st Arab Summit is excellent. The unification of the Arab ranks is one of our priorities. That's why we agreed on all of the suggested projects.
تم التوافق على كل مشروعات القرارات المقدمة للقمة العربية. مشروعات كثيرة طرحت ومبادرات أمن عليها من جانب.
Many projects have been put forward and initiatives have been taken for the benefit of Arab countries through national and regional strategies.
والإقليمية أو على مستوى الدول العربية مجتمعة إن شاء الله.
آمال وطموحات الشعوب العربية تنعقد على هذه القمة خاصة.
The Arab countries pin on great hopes on this summit, and we expect many decisions that will meet the aspirations of the Arab peoples, especially by setting the different economic and political crises.
من أزمات اقتصادية وسياسية.
At the International Press Center, everything has been put in place to ensure a quality service. The technical means and the necessary equipment have been put at the disposal of the national media, both public and private, as well as the Arab and foreign media. Algeria has put in place all the means for the success of this event. The International Press Center is one of the best in the Arab countries.
ظهرنا صراحة من المركز الإعلامي الصحفي الموجود وكذلك حسن الترتيب والإفادة.
We were surprised by the International Press Center and by the excellent organization and the facilities destined to journalists. We have been here for 3 days. We have already sent 12 emails and reports to radio and TV stations. This would not have been possible without these facilities.
أن يكون ميسرا لولا التسهيلات والترتيبات المحكمة والجيدة التي وجدناها هنا.
Under the motto of the unification of ranks, a particular importance is granted to this 31st Arab Summit, scheduled for the 1st and 2nd of November, due to the recommendations and decisions to crown the summit for the benefit of all the Arab nations.
In a related topic, and in order to ensure a successful media coverage, the Algerian television mobilized all the necessary human and material means, namely journalists and technical teams, with the aim of keeping the viewers updated with the latest developments related to the upcoming Arab Summit. Manal Hammari tells us more.
The national television's journalists and technical teams are mobilized at Algiers airport to welcome Arab delegations that will participate at the Arab Summit and broadcast the first images of their arrival in Algeria.
Our role is to respect business ethics. We are performing an experimental broadcast from the airport to ensure a successful coverage of the Arab delegation's arrival. We covered various meetings and did not wait until the last minute to prepare for this major event. Everybody is waiting the arrival of the Arab heads of state participating at this event.
The same atmosphere prevailed at the International Conference Center Abdellatif Rahal, where 24 high-quality cameras were allocated. Press conferences will be broadcasted live on the national television and several Arabic channels. Everything is set up to ensure a successful coverage. We have 3 HD buses. The first is parked at the entrance to cover the reception of the delegations. The second has more equipment and is set up at the main hall, where heads of states gather, while the last is dedicated to press conferences. The media coverage will continue in anticipation of the 31st session of the Arab Summit, scheduled for the upcoming 1st and 2nd of November, to which a particular importance is granted by national, international, and Arab medias.
In a different context, Algeria is now gaining ground in the tourism sector. It has become a favorite destination for foreigners thanks to the hospitality of its people, its beautiful landscapes, and its many historical monuments. Story by Rania Al-Bahri.
We are at Martyrs Square here in Algiers, a symbolic place in our history, which has become the privileged destination of several national and foreign tourists. When people knew that I'm Palestinian, they make me feel at home. A little further from the place of martyrs, on the heights of Algiers, we met Jafar, an Iraqi who has been living in Algeria for a few years already. He confirmed his attachment to our country. We feel safe in Algeria. We never worried about our safety. Algeria is also the land of welcome for this young Yemeni who never missed an opportunity to visit the emblematic sites of the capital. I have visited several countries, but the only place where I feel good is Algeria. The welcome and the hospitality of its people make us feel like we are in our country. Naji and Mohammed, two Palestinians from the Gaza Strip, they respectively found themselves in Algeria after a long separation from their country. The Palestinians are well received in Algeria. We are here at home. The Algerians attach great importance to the Palestinian cause. I never felt like foreigner in Algeria. The people are welcoming and always supported the Palestinian cause.
The Garden of Beirut, the Street of Tripoli, or Mauritania Square, many streets and gardens in the capital Algiers bear the names of several Arab capitals or countries, reflecting thus the strong relations existing between Algeria and these brotherly countries. Rania Al-Bahri once again.
Al-Mahrousa, a nickname that the city of Algiers had for centuries. It has been preserved thanks to the Arab expanse and its unifying role of the Arab ranks. The proof are these streets and gardens which bear the names of the Arab countries and capitals. We are in the Garden of Beirut in Tilimli municipality. I come regularly with my friends. It bears the name of the capital of Lebanon, and this reflects the fraternal and friendly relations between Algeria and Lebanon. Many of the names of capitals are carried by gardens and streets, such as the Garden of Tunis. This place bears the name of an Arab country, which is Mauritania. The close relationship between Algeria and the Arab world is also reflected in the name of personalities who left the mark in our history. The National Higher Institute of Music was named after the composer of the national anthem, Professor Mohammed Fawzi, who is Egyptian. By working in Egypt, I have seen that it has strengthened cultural exchanges between the two countries. Through these names, Algeria preserved its Arab expanse and consolidated links uniting it to all countries of the Arab world.
In other news, laboratories and screening are gaining momentum in our country. To this effect, a symposium was held in Algiers to look for the best ways for enhancing this important sector. Our reporter Sabrinta Ferganit, who covered the event, has more to say.
The first edition ever of IMLab in Algeria took place in an atmosphere full of innovative concepts for wine companies and science lovers. It reflects Algerian companies' strategies on producing and exporting local products abroad.
We had orders internationally from Germany and from Austria to have our products to be commercialized even in Europe. We want to start making the exportations also of those products, mainly to the Francophone countries like Mali and Senegal.
This session was upgraded with a specific scientific area with a free access, where conferences, workshops, symposiums were held.
We have received many qualified and professional visitors, and we have a very good feedback. The scientific program of IMLab includes 15 scientific communications, 2 symposiums, and 5 workshops.
I didn't expect the number of the visitors, that's one. Second of all, I believe that we're not only us as exhibitors, the other exhibitors, they had a great job, they did a great job. So being very useful and also giving the good image for their brands and their companies.
Events like this are always the ideal occasion to get closer to professionals, sign agreements, and develop this vital sector.
And with that, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.